चलो 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 आओ भाई बहनों चलो चलो माता पिता की चलो चलो मतरी देववा पितृ देववा मतरी देववा पितृ देववा आओ भाई बहनों चलो चलो माता पिता की चलो चलो की छाँव में पलता भाई बहन का प्यारा माता पिता की छाँव में पलता भाई बहन का प्यारा अपनी माता पिता अपनी माता पिता सम्मा करे सम्मा करे चलो चलो माता पिता की चलो 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 भाई और बहनों चलो चलो माता पिता की चलो चलो मम्मी धन्यवाद दादी उन्हीं हमारी जरूरत है शुक्रिया मम्मी धन्यवाद दादी उन्हीं हमारी जरूरत है हमें वहाँ हमें वहाँ रहने दो चलो चलो माता पिता की चलो 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 मतृ देववा पितृ देववा praying together brings us closer never ever forsake your mother and father nani and nana aji and aja Terji live in peace remember our mothers and fathers are our earthly gods. Matri Devava, Pitri Devava.
Freedom is not worth having if it does not include freedom to make mistakes. Indian Arrival Day in Guyana takes place on May 5th. Other countries, including the Caribbean, Fiji, South Africa, and Mauritius, also celebrate the holiday on various dates to commemorate the arrival of Indian immigrants brought by European colonial authorities as indentured laborers. It is a public holiday in Guyana, Mauritius, Trinidad and Tobago. Indian Arrival Day is meant to recognize the contributions of these immigrants to the nation's development and history. This is Get Real with Shameeza, and I'm your hostess, Shameeza Ali. It is truly a pleasure to be here with you this evening. Salam, namaste, and good evening to everyone joining us right here on Facebook, YouTube, Island Zone Radio, and on NTN channel 69 in Georgetown, Guyana. Our guest tonight is loved and known by many as the Guyana Babu. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome our guest for tonight, Terry Gajraj.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Shameeza.
Pleasure having you here. You look very handsome tonight. I love the color coordination that we have going on here.
Yes.
I love those glasses.
Oh,
I
thank you.
forgot to remind. I next time I need to do that. I need to have my glasses on. So Terry, how have you been?
Great, very good so far. I want to thank you for this opportunity to be on Get Real. I know ever since you started, you've been growing and growing and growing, and it's such an honor to be here again. I'm in my hotel room in Houston, Texas, because I have showtime later. So that's why the setting is not that ideal. But thank you so much for having me on Get Real.
Well, I think I'm more excited to have you than you are to be here tonight because I know you have a lot going on. But I know since before Get Real even started 2 years ago, it's always been my dream. And I think since back then, I've been reaching out to you. Hey, Terry, I'll be starting this show.
Yeah.
Can you be my guest on this show? And you're like, yeah, absolutely, right. And so you came before, and here you are again tonight as our guest, celebrating our ancestors, right? Their journey to South America, especially to our country of Guyana. And when you hear ancestors and you hear Indian arrival, what comes to mind for you?
The first thing that comes to mind is that is where our culture came from our ancestors. And me, I always want to honor our ancestors by doing the things that they would have loved. And any parent want their kids to upkeep their culture and to help it grow and also to spread our culture around the world. And that is something I've been trying to do.
You definitely have been trying to do that, and for many years. As a matter of fact, it's been over 30 years that you have been spreading the word about your culture, right? A lot of your songs have to do with your culture and who you are as a person, right? You always bringing your country, your culture. Speaking of culture and speaking of Guyana, we can't have those words in a sentence without our food. What is your favorite Indian food?
Man, I love the basics. Roti, dal, some choka. Curry does it for me. I love curry. So every day I must have one meal of curry. So when I'm traveling and there's no curry, man, I just go crazy.
You have to have curry every single day if you can, if it's available.
Yes, yes, absolutely. Twice a day,
Wow.
even.
You know what? I see a lot of our, your people that are, you know well. They're saying hello to all of us, and I'm happy it's my people too. So I want to shout out Nirvan, Ryan, Jeffrey, Polly Das, guys. Thank you so much for being here this evening, Rowena. It is such an honor to have each and every one of you join us this evening, and Terry has bring out the best in all our musicians and DJs. Singers are here to really celebrate this moment, and I'm just excited because there is so much that we're about to get into, right? um,
Yes.
what would you say for you, right? There are many things about our culture that are authentic and are very, very, we have the tradition of, but what for you is like your favorite thing about our culture, other than the food and all of that? What is your favorite thing?
One thing with our culture, it's very peaceful. It's full of love and harmony. Our
Yes.
culture is like that, and I really love it. And not talk about the clothes. I mean, it's the best clothes
Oh,
here.
I think I overdid it tonight, but there is no such thing as, too much. I feel when it comes to our Indian traditional wear, we can never have too much. I mean, I
You
could have
look
put more things
beautiful.
in my hair, and it still would have been good. So, with that said, Terry, I know you have to go in a few, but tonight we're here, to celebrate our culture, but we also want to talk a little bit about you, right? And I know recently you shared your thoughts and some concerns in a
Yeah,
post on social media. And
correct.
it got the attention of, let's just say, many people, right?
Mhm.
What were you thinking at the time when you shared that post?
I'm thinking that, as a country, we need to do better. You know, we are very foreign minded. We still have that crab in the barrel mentality. Somebody's doing good, pull them down. And, much hasn't been done over our history in Guyana for the culture. But yet we look up to foreign countries, Guyana, Trinidad, everywhere. And we love those countries. We love those singers, those performers. And they do a phenomenal job. My thing is, you know, We love them so much. Let's learn from them. Let's do what they're doing, highlighting our culture so our Guyanese people could appreciate our Guyanese artists. And I'm like in the middle because before me, there were so many other great legendary artists, singers, performers, dancers, people whose shoulder I'm standing on. And then after me, there are so many young artists, and we need to show a little appreciation and, yeah, help to make our country, our culture grow. And when I say culture, I don't just mean the music. And I wrote about all the disrespect that I have experienced as an artist and still experience it up to this day, believe it or not. Though I dedicate my entire life, promoting our culture. When I say my entire life, I meant my entire life. Growing up as a little boy in our mandir, we did that, every night almost. We sang for people, little puja here and there. I never stopped. And even as a little boy, up to now, an older man, I'm still doing it and I love doing it and I will keep doing it regardless. Um, and you have people now. Back then when I started, nobody loved Guyana. Everybody hated Guyana, literally. I mean, I would try to wave my Guyana flag. They'll tell me, throw it in the flag. These are people who said they'll never, ever go back to Guyana. They don't go for Guyana for nothing. They go for vacations in other countries, of course. But ever since the oil in Guyana, now you find people going back, right? And I question myself, what are the motives, But I'm happy at the end of it that people are going back and people are, going back to their roots and researching our culture and showing their children, hey, this is Guyana. But we should never forget the people who really fought for Guyana when things were really, really terribly bad. And, once again, it's all for me, it's all about the culture. I mean, businessmen can go there and do whatever investments, all that is good. I like it because it's for Guyana. But let's not forget our culture. We'll be dishonoring the legacy of our ancestors from India. And as you rightfully said, Friday, May 5th, it's Indian Arrival Day. And, at least once a year, we get to reflect and see and learn about the contributions from our ancestors. And just for that, I always write songs for all the different occasions. Birthday, Christmas, it don't matter, Diwali, Pagwa. I write songs because that is my culture. And I find I have an obligation to educate our people, especially the young ones coming up. And for Indian Arrival, I obviously wrote a song back in 1994. I called it Indo-Caribbean Man. I did an update, Desi from Guyana. And I'm sure, we'll have an opportunity to, reflect on that song as well. But thank you for that
Absolutely.
question, Shameeza.
Um, when you look back at the post that you wrote, I mean, I read the entire thing the very first time I came across it. It was just like minutes after you posted it. I sat there because when Terry's always doing funny things, right? You're known for your jokes and putting out these things and positivity. And when Terry writes like, a few pages, people pay attention, right? You looking back, did you miss anything on that post? You're like, oh shit, I forgot this one. Did you miss anything?
I missed a lot. Like I said, that is just a small
There
snippet
is a
of all
book
the.
coming.
Yeah, we just kind of. I only went back like a few months, and it really hit me, especially like I said during the time of the CPL and the
Yeah.
One Guyana concerts. For all that I've done for Guyana,
Mhm.
spreading people know Guyana through me. When they want a singer from Guyana, I'm the first one they call, and I'm glad that the new guys are there now and they're doing a great job. But it really hit me hard, especially, and you were there, it really hit me hard, especially then. And I was like, and I looked at it and the iPads keep going, and it's getting worse. And I'm like, let me just and people always asking me, why is it like this? And rather than individually respond to thousands of people, I figure I'll do a post. And then when they ask me that question, I can share that post. Because it's a lot. I mean, when I said I honestly meant I can write a book about it because I only went back a few months.
Now, speaking of your songs, right, and what you try to incorporate about Guyana and your culture and all that, Guyana Babu, um, you know, there are many rumors out there that you're not the original singer, that you stole the idea from others, not one or two,
Right.
um, a few people. What is
Yes.
the truth to that?
Well, as I had explained before, Guyana Babu, it's like a folk song.
Right.
And I came to that conclusion. Mr. Manny Hanif, great, excellent perform. He did it in 1975. And he didn't do the whole song. He just did the chorus, a little piece of it, right? Like when you do a folk song medley, and he did a couple other songs. And prior to him, 1972, it was Elsie, and she was affectionately called Dougla Elsie. She sang it then as well. And that's the version that I know as the original. But when I did Bangali Babu in 1994, man, people came after me one after the other. Oh, that's not your song. Da 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 da. And I agreed. The chorus, the "Oh Bengali Babu, Oh Guyana Babu," that was from Manny and Douglas Elsie. But then the rest of the song, 80% of the song, 100% is what I wrote because of my experiences in New York when I migrated to New York, telling about how much I miss Guyana, how much I love Guyana, and I want to go back to Guyana. And if you listen to the lyrics of the song, you will get it. And at that time, so many people were coming after myself and Mohabir of Mohabir Records. He is the producer, executive producer on that project. We started making a list. We came up with 38 names because anybody who named Bengali or Babu, they all claimed they wrote the song, and I didn't, dispute anyone. I don't deny it, but it's like a here auntie best, here auntie best, here auntie best, or a big, bamboo fire is what kind of fire. So maybe that's where it came from, but obviously the song came from our ancestors in India, and in the rice fields and the cane fields, they would sing songs like oh maninja, kena cotton, dharmat karo, baya dharmat karo.
Right.
And the sad thing for me is that when others do those songs like Kanchan and many other artists who are non-Guyanese, it's okay. Nobody complains, nobody bashes them, nobody says anything. But if someone like Terry Gajraj, who is out there promoting Guyana for over 35 years, 30 years since Guyana Babu. And I've been doing this for over 50 years, singing. And obviously, locally in Guyana, we did it during those days when I was in Guyana. But that is what I am disappointed about,
Right.
bashing someone who goes around the country promoting it. And others, they do it and they don't even mention Guyana. They don't even thank Guyana, right? But they're the ones who get lauded and applauded and things of that sort. So that double standard, crab in the barrel mentality, that is what got to me. And I'm like, I got to make a post about this.
And the way I look at it, Terry, is that maybe there are many people, like you said, it's a folk song, right? A lot of us might have hummed it. I actually heard one version of it, and I can tell you if that version was released, if it was recorded, I probably will not be listening to it. It probably would have been the Guyana
Mhm.
Babu, or the way you have brought it out. But not only
Yeah.
you've many versions of it is out there. It's you. You are the one who made that Guyana Babu famous, and it's hard not to think of you when you hear the word Guyana Babu, because you're known throughout the world as the Guyana Babu, right? And I don't think there could have been many attempts to make a Guyana Babu, but you're the one who promoted it. You're the one who have gotten the full credit because you've made it what it is. And for me, that's where the respect goes. Like, a lot of people can do things, but who had the courage to go out there and consistently and persisted and delivered something like the way you did it? So for me, you are the guy in a babu. And I say that with the most respect because that's how I see it. And, we live in a world where people like to get the credit, but no one wants to do the work, right?
Yeah.
And it's about time that we start taking accountability for our actions. And this is one of those things that we need to start being real and be fair to ourselves and others, because we're not doing that right now. So with that said, I know that you have met with the president recently. How did that meeting go?
It was short. It was a brief meeting, and he expressed concern, about the post and what I wrote, and he did say that they will try to fix it and reach out to the Ministry of Culture. So, I mean, for me, actions speak louder than words.
Right.
I've done that throughout my life. My dad taught me that. My mom taught me that. So let's see how it goes, right? So far, nothing has really been done, but I'm still hopeful, and I hope we got on a good positive path in recognizing our culture and all those people whose shoulder we're standing on, who are the foundation for our Guyanese culture. And I told the president I have so many ideas because no other singer from Ghana has traveled more than I have and performed in as many countries, many cities, as I have, And I'm not bragging, I'm just saying it in a humble way because it educated me and I've learned so much and I've got so much education from all those tours. I can use it to benefit Guyana, Guyanese. I can educate, I have a background as a teacher coming from my dad, my sisters, and I have offered, but obviously nobody has yet, well, taken up that offer. And I'm hopeful, but like my dad always say, you hope for the best, but you prepare for the worst. And that's what has kept me smiling throughout the years and will keep me smiling for the rest of my life.
That, just listening to you, I get goosebumps just listening to you because that's the reality of where we are as, people. And it would be amazing to see us utilize the people who can actually take the country somewhere. And I know there's a lot of things happening in Guyana, but culturally, are we really looking at our culture, how we can preserve it, how we can, do certain things to enhance what we currently have and let teach our younger generation, right? Um, Speaking of our younger generation, right? Many artists, not only in Guyana, but in Trinidad and other places, they look up to you. What is your advice to them when it comes to representing Guyana or their country?
Well, I believe once you have that love in your heart for what you do, and you have that love and genuine interest for your culture and to preserve our culture and to honor our ancestors. And I mean, most people are driven by money, which not a bad thing. You got to make money, you got to live. But at the end of the day, like I said, there is something that you're willing to die for. For me, I feel very strongly about culture, and there are lots of people who are doing it and learning and promoting, and I just hope they keep doing that. But for me, the respect that I've gotten, I mean, not from Guyanese necessarily, but it's weird that other people from other countries, including India, I mentioned the Minister of Culture from India showed me so much love and respect. And that's India, what is it? 5 billion people, it's so crazy. And I've had like Shah Rukh Khan singing my songs. And I've met all, I- I've performed with all these superstars out of India, and they all learned about Guyanese culture through me, and they found it very funny. Even when I visited India, even Bangali Babu, the bus driver was telling the lady about Bangali Babu, and she was singing a little, oh, Bangali Babu. She had gold teeth, and oh, it was so precious. And they were singing, well, their versions. I couldn't understand the Hindi, but I like what a lot of the young people are doing, and it's good for the elders to guide them. And I think our culture will do well. Is just that we have to start showing that love and appreciation to the ones who are actually doing it. Say a little thank you, show a little appreciation. But in Guyana, we still have that foreign mentality that outside of Ghana, those singers are better, And for me, like I said, actions speak louder than words. Look at all the flyers for the independence shows, Guyana independence shows, right? And you would think there would be, yeah, I mean,
Terry
Guyanese
needs to be
artists.
here from 2 weeks before and a week later. Like,
But
I mean,
yeah.
I'm not joking. Like when you think of Guyana, for a lot of people, I think even if you Google it, there was a TikTok I think that I saw. It could have been a few months ago, maybe a year ago, where a person did a TikTok, and it was not our culture, and he said Guyana is Terry Gajraj is known
Yeah.
in Guyana. He's one of the most famous person, and I felt proud because I know Terry, right? So, um, when you think
Thank you.
about
I was
Guyana, that's
honored.
the word that we think of, right? Like for me, growing up, like I knew Terry, and when you think of Guyana, you think about Terry. So, it's just for me a little bit crazy
Yeah.
that Terry is not an ambassador for Guyana. Terry doesn't get certain things, and sometimes it's not about the recognition, and it's not about those things. It's a fact that you're not even acknowledged,
Yeah.
right? And as human beings, we do things because we're passionate about it or because we love doing it. But when you're acknowledged, right, for your work, you have that passion. It means a lot, and it drives you even more. I don't know
Yes.
about you, Terry, but that's for me. That's how it works. I don't do it for anything but my passion. But when you're
Correct.
acknowledged for it, it really
Yeah.
encourages you to keep going. And um, it broke my heart when I read that post, and I just hope that things can be better. Speaking of, you know a lot of people, and speaking of advice, right? Like you mentioned earlier, we have that crab in a barrel mentality. What is one advice you will give, everyone that's listening right now? And it's no secret. I mean, a lot of people you ask, they will say, "Hey, we might not have it, we act like it, though, right?"
Yeah.
What is something that you will advise us, right, to say, "Hey, one thing that we can change that I've seen around the world that works for others is this." What would you say is that one thing?
Well, education, right? Education is vitally important. With education, you can do so much, right? And you can know how to respond to people and not get into any fights and, you know, altercations or any confrontations. So that is important for us to educate our kids, and not just about math and English, but also about our culture. You got to know your history. If you don't know where you came from, you will not know where you're going. We will be lost, and that is what's happening to most people. And there have been, I mean, an outpouring of love for me and compassion based on my post, but there have been a lot of people who bash me. And I feel bad for the people who bash me, because when I read their comments, I realized it's a lack of education. It's that ignorance. Some it felt like they did not even read the post. They're like, "Oh, I'm looking for recognition. I'm looking for awards. I'm looking for medals." No, I specifically said in my post, do not get it twisted. I'm not looking for recognition. I'm not looking for any medal. I'm not looking for any awards. I just want people to be aware. And I was explaining to the people who keep asking me these questions. And it's so sad that the people who appreciate what I do are the people from other countries: Trinidad, Suriname, Guyana. I mean, and I travel, I like to go there, and I love to promote my culture. But education is vitally important, because every single person who bashed me, they thought I'm looking for awards. I don't need recognition. I have all the recognition I need and all the recognition I can handle. I don't want awards. I go by the heart and love for our culture, our people. I do it for our people. And I love promoting our culture. And I love telling people the stories of where I came from. And I did it back when it was not popular to be Guyanese. People who are Guyanese were saying, "No, me not from Guyana, me from some other country." I've been there, I've seen it. Now people are starting to accept their Guyanese because Guyana is doing better. But don't forget the ones who did it and made that sacrifice back in the days when it was unpopular to be Guyanese or wave a Guyana flag.
Terry, you know, we can't go through tonight's show without having you sing something, because I know you have to go in a little bit.
Yeah.
But before you leave us, you have to sing us something.
Oh, yes, I'd love to. And thank you for the opportunity, Shameeza. And in honor of Indian Arrival Day, this is a song. And once again, Shameeza, a song like this I wrote in 1994, but the government does nothing to promote it. They would bash all the singers for doing rum songs. And when people do educational songs or songs of value, they don't even promote it. They do not. Like I said, Chalagay Nana, Chalagay Nani, another beautiful cultural song. It won awards in South Africa, but in Guyana, you heard nothing. They don't promote these songs, but they would bash people for doing anything otherwise. But when you do it, they show no love, zero appreciation. Anyway, this is a song I wrote to educate children, and it brings out the little teacher in me. And this one goes something like this. My ancestors came from India in 1838. They came to British Guyana as Jahajis or shipmates. They crossed the Kalapani on the Hesperus and Whitby, Bahut Aja and Meaji, Bahut Nana and Nani. Yes, I'm a Desi from Guyana, from the Indian diaspora, Girmitia or Batohia, Mother India and Guyana. I'm an Indo-Caribbean man from an Indo-Caribbean land. I love my Indo-Caribbean tradition, yes, the women and the children. And I'll keep on the history lesson. You tell me when to stop, right?
Oh no, you continue.
Thank you. And I always ask people how many Indians left India in 1838 and came to Guyana. And most of the times I sing the song, less than 0.0001% knows the answer. And here it goes. 240,000 came down to this land. Indian indentured servants within a 79-year span, clutching onto their lotus and crying for Mother India. With tears in their eyes, a prayer in their heart, Salam Bharat Mata. Yes, I'm a Desi from Guyana, from the Indian diaspora, Girmitia or Batohia, Mother India and Guyana. I'm an Indo-Caribbean man from an Indo-Caribbean land. I love my Indo-Caribbean tradition, yes, the women and the children. And anyone listening, do we know the names of the first Indians who came to Guyana? Here we go. Nuta Khan and Anand Ram were the first immigrants to land. Khan in Demerara, Ram became a Berbetian like me. They lived in little lodges and worked hard in the back down. Work hard in the back down with their cutlass. You know, my God, I am so proud to be an Indian, and coming from India. Look our Indian culture all around the world, so positive. Yoga, they have adopted yoga around the world. Look at our curry. I mean, there's so many things, I am so proud. But that's why I am proud. I'm a Desi from Guyana, from the Indian diaspora, Girmitia or Batohia, Mother India and Guyana. I'm an Indo-Caribbean man from an Indo-Caribbean land. I love my Indo-Caribbean tradition, yes, the women and the children. One more little verse I have for you. My grandfather, he used to teach Hindi classes. Hear this. Sonny Gajraj, my grandfather, he was a true Indian. He taught bhajans and Hindi classes to all the little children sitting down on his pirha. He was a bottom house teacher, teaching cultural education from generation to generation. Yes, I'm an Indo-Caribbean man from an Indo-Caribbean land. I love my Indo-Caribbean tradition, my culture and education. I'm an Indo-Caribbean man from an Indo-Caribbean land. I love my Indo-Caribbean tradition, yes, the women and the children. And I will be singing that song later tonight right here in Houston, Texas, for Guyanese, Trinidadian people from the diaspora and people who are, just regular American folks, people who are non-Guyanese. And they always show me so much love. Thank you for that opportunity, Shameeza.
Terry, I thank you for being here tonight. But one last question before you go. And I think this is an important one. I actually saved it for the very last. And here is the question. Do you have any regrets about that post?
None at all. None at all. Because of all the positivity that I have received from that post and people from all walks of life. And Shameeza, it breaks my heart to tell you the amount of singers, dancers, artists in the culture who have reached out to me privately. And the sad thing is because they are afraid to post anything publicly because of the backlash, because of the blacklisting and Afro-Guyanese as well. And this here, let me sing a little something about that same song, because it was people of all races, all culture who reached out to me and thanked me for that post. Here it is. We incorporated the cultures from Africa and India, Hindu, Muslims, and Christians to build a better Guyana. Everyone celebrated Ulaza. We all fly kites for Easter. Mud and water, a beer and powder, everybody playing Pagua. And that's why I love Guyana, because of that one love. And that is something I did from one day, that one finger post showing one people, one nation, one destiny. It's all about one love and one people. I am glad the government is doing that now as a one Guyana. It brings us oneness in all of us. At the end of the day, Shameeza, it's not about the human race and this race and that race. It's all about just the human race, not the color of your skin. And that is one reason why I love Pagua. When you put the color on there, man, everybody is one. And that is the true one Guyana.
Truly, it is. That's how we all grew up. We didn't know color, we didn't know anything. When it was a
Correct.
holiday, all of us were out on the streets celebrating. It
Correct.
was, Pagua. You were celebrating with your friends, right? Even if you were
Yes.
not a Hindu. And
Yes.
if you were a Hindu, you were celebrating Eid and you were
Yes.
indulging in all the festivities and you
Yes.
celebrated Christmas and all
Mhm.
the other
Easter.
holidays and didn't even know that there was a difference in any of us until we became adults and life got complicated. And
Yes.
now, I'm not in Guyana, but I hope that we can continue to live as one. And I think that's what made Guyana and Trinidad and all these countries such unique countries is because of our culture,
Yes.
blending it all together and having so many different races living together as one. And I hope we can continue that. With that said, Terry, it is truly, truly an honor to have you here this evening. I wish you the best. I can't wait for your next song to come out. And I know you have so much more going on, but always a pleasure to be in your company. Have a
Shameeza,
pleasant evening.
thank you so much for the opportunity. I want to thank all your fans out there. Like I always tell them, there's no me without you. You are the guys who make me who I am, Terry Gajraj, the Guyana Babu. For that, I am eternally grateful. And to add to your point, it was the death anniversary of Sundar Popo. And you guys can go on my YouTube channel and take a look. That tribute to Sundar, who did so much for our culture. Long live Sundar Popo. Shameeza, I'm so proud of you, doing great. And to all your fans out there, keep supporting. Get real with Shameeza. Love you all.
Bye bye, Terry. Guys, we will take a few minutes and get a few messages from our sponsor. So we'll be right back.
From the director of Guyana, 1838.
Mr. Rohit Jagasa, my name is Muin Muhammad. I heard you're from Guyana. What brings you to Trinidad?
I heard that you record the biggest Indo-Caribbean singers here. I want to take this music around the world. And someday, I want to record our music with a singer from India.
Thousands of singers here and in Guyana and Suriname, Fiji and Mauritius too. And you are going to India?
There's magic in her voice.
Maybe he's onto something, It has never been done before.
What's her name?
I don't know her name yet.
When are you coming to Bombay?
Mr. Jagesser, this is the radio signal of the New York Times. I can't take such a risk. Not on my watch.
Some have eyes that only see.
You're risking $6 million for Indian and Indo-Caribbean music. Which bank is going to give you that kind of money?
The Bank of Karma.
One man's quest to save the music of his heritage in a book of the time of our lives. Kiss and breathe.
Only the broken ones will rise.
A book
Hibiscus has been a flagship restaurant in our community for a very long time. Come dine with us and enjoy our excellent food, drinks and service at any one of our many locations. We are located on 12418 101 Avenue and 22113 Jamaica Avenue. Hibiscus at Elliott's on the Mile in Freeport is one of our newest locations, along with 12402 Rockaway Boulevard. In Guyana at 91 Middle Street, Georgetown. Bring your family and friends and come visit us soon.
If there's one place that makes hair removal a pleasant experience, it's the Sugar Bar NYC. Specializing in the art of body sugaring, utilizing a sugar gel for the most gentle, organic hair removal. Our method of hair removal is all natural. The paste is just sugar, lemon, and water. We also have specialized in acne, scarring and hyperpigmentation treatments. We provide sugaring services, waxing services, and laser hair removal services. We also provide body contouring services, Botox and fillers.
Enos Driving School offers training for CDL licenses, including tractor-trailers, trucks, and school buses. Just think, with a CDL license, you can have access to thousands of driving jobs at large companies such as FedEx, UPS, MTA, or New York Sanitation. Enos Driving School also offers defensive driving courses and training classes for cars and motorcycles, all taught by their college-trained instructors who can even schedule your road test appointments. Inquire about other driving and training packages as well. You might even be qualified for their free CDL training, as they are a certified institution with the New York State Workforce One program. Call Enos Driving School today. They've been serving our community for over 10 years.
Who's ready for a giveaway? I am. So tonight's giveaway, our sponsors, we're very grateful for them. So thank you so much. Our first giveaway is compliments of Mandy Cake Creations. And here is your chance to win the most delicious slice of black cake. Here's your question. In the official launch of Get Real with Shameeza, which was May 11, 2021, there were two females featured on the show. Name one of them. Question again is on May 21st, 2021, there were two females featured on the show. Name one of them.
Our second giveaway is compliments of Sherry's Weakness for Sweetness, and it's 1 dozen cupcakes. Here is your question. Other than myself, can you name one of the original hosts of Get Real with Shameeza? That question again is, other than myself, can you name one of the original hosts of Get Real with Shameeza? Our third prize is compliments of Safari for Hope organization. And here's your question. What date was Safari boat cruise last year? Again, that question is, what date was Safari boat cruise last year? And our last prize is compliments of the Daisy Group of Companies. it's a spice box. Here is your question. At the end of last season, we spoke to the cast of Dream Chaser. What is the name of the director? That question again is, at the end of last season, we spoke to the cast of Dream Chaser. What is the name of the director? And here is something to add to it. Members of the cast are not eligible to answer this question. So let's go. So you guys put your answers in. We will pick the first person to get the right answer, and we will reach out to you with that. And who is ready for some Ash? Cooking with Ash is here, and I'm so excited to bring her on. She has been on the show. She's no stranger to the show. She's been here several times, and tonight we are excited to have her. Again, I think she definitely is one of the most invited guests on this show, and we can never get enough of her cooking. So, ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Asheana Jhingree from Cooking with Ash.
Hi, good evening, Shameeza.
Look at you. You look gorgeous. I love it.
Thank you, thank you. You said to bring it, right? So I brought it.
I said to bring it, and you did not disappoint. Here you are. You brought it, girl. Excited. So,
good evening to you and all your viewers.
Yeah. How have you been?
Good, great.
I'm sorry?
I said I've been great, doing great.
Doing great. I mean, you've been killing these. I feel like every day you bring out a new recipe and you're doing so much content and you've been growing as well. And we'll talk all about it in just a few. But you actually have some recipes that you want to share with us tonight, right?
Yes, yes.
Whenever our tech person is ready, they will roll the videos and you'll tell us more about it once we finish seeing the video.
Behind every recipe, there is a story to be told. Today, I'll be taking you back in time with this classic recipe. Doudh Petit, as I know it, is a simple dough made with flour, baking powder, and water. It is then dropped in milk infused with spice and sweetened with sugar. This can also be made with stale or leftover roti. Anytime I prepare these old school recipes, it takes me back in time. I feel as if I'm standing in my foreparents' kitchen watching them create magic with whatever little they had. Have you ever wondered what went through their mind as they prepared these recipes to feed their family? Was it a meal created out of poverty? Was it all they could afford? Is it considered a treat for the family? As a content creator, I truly admire their creativity and talent to use whatever ingredients they had to prepare a meal for their loved one. I am so happy and fortunate that the knowledge was passed down from generation to generation so that today I can proudly continue our heritage, culture, and traditions. It is these recipes that define our identity and make us the person we are. I know my foreparents are looking at me and smiling proudly with satisfaction that I'm continuing their legacy and keeping the traditions alive.
All right. When I saw that for the first time, it brought tears to my eyes. And it's a great recipe, Ash. But just the fact, the story that you told behind it, it just touched me because, it is the truth that our ancestors really have enough ingredients. Did they use what they had to make the most to prepare a meal for their kids, right? And that right there for me was very touching, and it brought me to tears. So what was going through your head in terms of these recipes when you do it, right? Because we know our ancestors, and up to this day they are our aunties and grandmas and family members that still cook and say, you put a little bit of this, you put a little bit of that. And how do you come up with your perfect, because you share your recipes, right? How do you come up with the right amount of ingredients to get that perfect recipe?
So first of all, most of these recipes are not even mine. They're my mom's recipe. and my mom got it from her parents, and her parents got it from their parents. But as you know, time change and we evolve, some of the ingredients change. But sometimes when I put out a recipe out there, I try to keep it as traditional as possible, because most of these old recipes, they're altered or they're forgotten when you put it out there back and you put your take and twist to it. People often comment and say to me like, my grandparents or my mom never put this in, why did you change it? But what I try to let people know, if our grandparents and our parents had access to some of these ingredients back then, I am 1000% sure they would have used it. So most of these recipes is I got it from my mom, and every time I create a recipe, like I say, I go back in the future. I am thinking, so many things run through my mind. I'm thinking like, this is how it was done? Was it enjoyed? What made them come up with this recipe? How did this recipe came about? So it always take me back to our ancestors. Any recipe I cook, even if it's a modern recipe, it takes me back to my ancestors, where I'm thinking, would they be proud? What would they think about this modernized recipe that I just created? So, I am grateful for my mom, because anything I want to do in the kitchen, I call her up, and even if she don't know, she would find somebody that know. This lady just know everybody. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes. So this is how most of my recipes come about. And also that this is why I love the audience, the viewers. They're the ones that send in a recipe request, and sometimes I question them on it, because not everything I know. I don't know everything. I am not an encyclopedia, so I don't know everything. And that's when they would say, well, it make with a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Sometimes I go in the kitchen and create it myself.
Right. And one of the things that I'm sure that they were probably not cooking, that we call that bal roti, by the way. That's called bal roti when I was growing up, right? I know some people call it different things. So what did you guys call it? Or viewers, what did you guys know it as? Is it the same thing, dupati, as Ash said, or was it bal roti in your neck of the woods? We knew it as bal roti. The other thing is I'm sure many of our grandmothers and great grandmothers was making that on a fireside. There was no fancy stove like yours that they were making that on. And, we've come a far way as a society, and we keep evolving, and it is important for us to evolve, but we should never forget who we are. Like Terry said, we should never forget where we come from, because it's important to us, because it also shows us where we're going, where our destination is as a people, right? So just looking at that just brought back so much memories, and I'm happy that you chose that one. I'm sure a lot of our viewers are looking right now and probably forgot that recipe and that thing existed. It was considered more like a poor people kind of food when we were growing up, right? Rich people didn't make it too much. It was more like the poor people that made that, and they had limited ingredients to do it, right?
Yes, and
So
most of
with that
these
said, go ahead, Ash.
I said most of these classic old school recipe came from that. It's people making ends with what they had and throw everything in a pot like a cup rice, It's people just grabbing whatever they had to feed their family. So we now look at these recipes and said, I don't know if I'm gonna eat that, but these old school recipes are the best. They're the sweetest food you'll ever eat.
I agree. Next, we'll take a look at another something that you prepared for us, right?
Yes.
We have another video. So guys, sit back and enjoy.
This recipe holds memories of a strong East Indian woman. She was someone inspirational, hardworking, honest, compassionate, and most of all, an amazing single mother. She worked the fields, toiling in the hot sun. The sickle was her best friend, as it was the tool used to cut rice. Today, I will be sharing one of her favorite meals. It's called karahi. This is simply made with ground split peas, spice, and aromatics. It was then formed into balls and deep fried before transferring it into a dal sauce. It is called palauri. The trick to a tasty karahi is to let the palauri simmer on low and slow heat so the rich dal sauce can infuse the pulauri balls. When asked why this was one of her favorite meal, she said, "It's cheap, filling, and provide me and my kids with the nutrients and protein we need." Her exact words were, "Gyal, you think it's easy working in the hot sun all day? I need the energy to make a living to look after these two picnin that I have." She was a woman of integrity, was loved by many. She was no other than my dearly departed aunt who died at the age of 84, a strong East Indian woman.
Now, tell me how you could go through those videos and not tear up, because again, it's about the recipe, but it's more about the story that was told. Ash, thank you so much. That was just, it brought me to tears. And like I told you the day of, there's not a lot of things that can bring me to tears, except if you're Shah Rukh Khan, then yes, I will tear up. But you brought me to tears, so kudos to you. Beautiful story. You told that story beautifully, and I just love your content. And speaking of content, right? There are many creators out there, that have their platforms and they do cooking and other things. What would you say set you apart from other, especially cook YouTubers that does cooking and recipes?
So I would say I am very persistent and consistent with my cooking. I try to bring back recipes that you cannot find anywhere. For example, I wanted pine slice, and I love pine slice. I searched the web for that recipe, to see how it's made. No one had that recipe. I tried that recipe 5 times. I talked to my mom about it, and I tried that recipe 5 times before I actually put out a pine slice recipe that I enjoy and that tastes similar to pine slice that I know growing up. So most of my recipes them are old school recipes that you cannot find these days in this day and age. I try to pull back and bring back all these memories of growing up and eating all these delicious old school recipes. And that's my focus on my channel, to let our younger generation know about our time. So if we refer to a food, they could go on YouTube and Google it and know what I'm talking about. Put it in and see the recipe come up, and they're
Right.
gonna find it from Cooking with Ash, because there so far there is not an old school recipe that I've known about, and I don't have it on my channel.
Right. And tonight it's all about keeping our culture alive, right? We're here, you're here, you took the time to come and share recipes and share your things that you do. We had Terry who told us his journey and his stories, and it's about, for him, it's about keeping our culture alive. It's the same thing with you through recipes. His
Yes.
is through music. And we have the lovely Oma coming up in a little bit. Hers is through dance, which are some very essential things for our culture. Those are the things that made us who we are. Those are the things that we strive on, right? If you know about our people, that's really who we are. Our food is important, and it's there's so much colors and spices and so much taste buds that open up while eating our foods. Our music, right? We have a rich culture of music and dance, three very important things. And through people like you and Terry and Oma, we can keep this alive, and we can let our future generation know about us. And this is how we do it, right? Through
Yes,
people
we
like you.
don't.
So
Yeah,
thank you.
yep, we don't want these recipes or even the music or culture to be forgotten. We want
No.
to pass it on to the younger generation. So I urge everyone here tonight who is listening on, who like forget about these things like, dancing, music, food, don't install it into your kids. Them let them know about our culture, let them try our food. Most of these kids are so accustomed to the Americanized food now, they don't even want to try Guyanese food. And my rule in my house is you got to eat it if I cook it,
Yeah, I
and
saw a video recently. You were saying if you, and I mean, listen, it's nutritious food. right?
the best
Everything
food.
that we
Yeah,
do,
yeah.
every ingredient that's chosen is chosen with, nutrition in mind. And I blend stuff up. Like I cut my spices and stuff really small so that it gets blended in there, and the kids don't even know, but it's there, right?
Yes.
So we put a lot of effort into our cooking. I hope a lot of us still do put effort into cooking because it's important. We need that nutrition, we need the taste, and we need a lot of things in that food. But one of the questions that I have for you tonight is, you I can close my eyes. There are certain foods that I can just close my eyes and I can cook it and I don't have to worry. I know it will come out perfect every single time. And for me, one of those foods, it's kitchery. I love my household, everybody that I meet and I've introduced them to kitchery, they love it, right? And I can close my eyes. I've gotten so good at it. I can close my eyes and I can basically make a pot of it and I don't have to worry. And it's such a simple thing to cook, right? What is that one thing that you can actually close your eyes and you can cook and not have to worry about its taste or anything?
Curry. Any curry. Bring it.
Any curry. See, now
Listen,
I'm not good at that.
I don't even have to taste it. I can smell it and I'm like, yes, this is right. Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Girl, you're good. You're good. Not a lot of us will say that.
I cook curry in this house at least 2 to 3 times a week because I'm a curry maniac. Like if I cook American food, I don't eat it. I have to make sure there is curry and rice in the fridge for me.
Sounds well, there are certain things like pastas and stuff for the kids. I can't eat it because I feel like I'm eating the kids' food. So I'll keep, like, if I'm making a traditional food like our West Indian food today, I'll leave a little bit in the fridge for maybe tomorrow if I know I'm making pastas or whatever. I consider that kids' food.
Same here.
Speaking of kids, my daughter Sophia just said on the live that I'm one of the best chefs she knows.
That's a great compliment, and I actually see your
best comment for the night, Sophia. Thank you. Ash, she has to try your cooking. I'm sure she'll be saying the same thing. But listen, Farad, welcome. It's an honor to have you here tonight, joining us. He says, "How can life get better than this?" It can, thanks to our ancestors, Mother India. Very true. We will go to a very short commercial break. We'll get a few messages from our sponsors and we'll be right back.
Hibiscus has been a flagship restaurant in our community for a very long time. Come dine with us and enjoy our excellent food, drinks and service at any one of our many locations. We are located on 12418 101 Avenue and 22113 Jamaica Avenue. Hibiscus at Elliott's on the Mile in Freeport is one of our newest locations, along with 12402 Rockaway Boulevard. In Guyana at 91 Middle Street, Georgetown. Bring your family and friends and come visit us soon.
If there's one place that makes hair removal a pleasant experience, it's the Sugar Bar NYC. Specializing in the art of body sugaring, utilizing a sugar gel for the most gentle, organic hair removal. Our method of hair removal is all natural. The paste is just sugar, lemon, and water. We also have specialized in acne, scarring and hyperpigmentation treatments. We provide sugaring services, waxing services, and laser hair removal services. We also provide body contouring services, Botox and fillers.
Enos Driving School offers training for CDL licenses, including tractor trailers, trucks, and school buses. Just think, with a CDL license, you can have access to thousands of driving jobs at large companies such as FedEx, UPS, MTA, or New York Sanitation. Enos Driving School also offers defensive driving courses and training classes for cars and motorcycles, all taught by their college-trained instructors who can even schedule your road test appointments. Inquire about other driving and training packages as well. You might even be qualified for their free CDL training, as they are a certified institution with the New York State Workforce One program. Call Enos Driving School today. They've been serving our community for over 10 years.
She is one of the most graceful and charming dancers I know. Please welcome Uma Devi Samai. Hello, Uma. Welcome.
Good evening, everyone. Hi, Shameeza. Hi, Auntie Ash. How are you?
Thank you so much for being here. I know you have an event that you're heading to, but you wanted to be here, and I'm happy that you chose to be with us here this evening. When you think about Indian arrival, and I know your dancing is part of who you are, right? When you think about Indian arrival, what do you know about Indian arrival, or what comes to mind for you?
What especially is because both of my parents are from Guyana. They're from Currentine Berbice. So just the idea of my ancestors being, I guess, tricked or convinced to get onto that ship to come over to Guyana for what they thought was for a better life and for indentured work and things like that. Just the hardships that they've endured, and my parents, and then them coming to America, enduring different types of hardships to have me and my brother as well have what we do today and all the opportunities while still keeping on to our culture of Indian. That came from Indian Arrival Day.
Well said. Yes, it's important. And that's what Ash and I and Terry, the entire night, what we've been talking about, how important it is. All of us are here because we want our culture, our tradition to stay alive. We want our future generations to know who we are as the people, right? And I'm happy to see you. I think you were born here, right, Oma?
Yes, I was born here in Queens, New York.
Right. But you still, you very much keep your tradition alive through dancing. And in many other ways, but we love dancing, so we're highlighting dancing tonight, right? And as a matter of fact, speaking of dancing, we have a video of you dancing, so we're gonna show that if that's okay with you.
Yes, please.
Are you guys ready to see Oma dancing? Because I am.
I am.
You ready?
Yes.
All right, let's take a look, ladies and gentlemen, at Oma Devi.
होठों में ऐसी बात में दबा के चली आई, खुल जाए वही बात तो दुहाई है दुहाई। होठों में ऐसी बात में दबा के चली आई, खुल जाए वही बात तो दुहाई है दुहाई। हाँ रे हाँ, बात जिसमें प्यार तो है, जहर भी है हाय। होठों में ऐसी बात में दबा के चली आई, खुल जाए वही बात तो दुहाई है दुहाई।
मेरे हाथों में नौ नौ चूड़ियां हैं, थोड़ा ठहरो सजन मजबूरियां हैं। मेरे हाथों में नौ नौ चूड़ियां हैं, थोड़ा
just wanted that to continue. You're like a little doll, just like moving, and I can't give like that part of it. Oh wait, she's in a different. You're just so cute, Oma Devi. It's like I want to have a little Oma in my house that can just dance.
Oh,
She's so talented.
She
I
is
think we all
very,
work
very talented.
from Auntie Ash's cooking. We can do some dancing now, right?
I'm in.
You ladies, please, please. We need some music for this dancing. You know what we needed? We needed Terry to be here. So Terry can
Yes.
sing and we can dance. But since Terry is not here, I don't know. Uma, you can do it by yourself?
Not the singing part. I'm a dancer for a reason.
The dancing part, you're gonna dance in the car right now?
Yes.
Ash, I know you can do whatever. You will get up and dance and you will sing.
You know that. You know that. I'm in for the fun. You know, as long as it's fun, I am there.
I agree. I mean, for me, dancing is one of those things. Like, I just want to dance. Like, dance is like one of those things that I can't live without. Like, I'm gonna dance. I don't care where I'm at. I'm gonna dance.
Yep, I
I
agree.
can't dance quite like Uma Devi, but I do my little thing. You know, you gotta
We
do
all
what you do,
can.
right? You think in my head I can dance like Uma, but when you see the actual dancing, it's nowhere close to Uma.
She can teach us.
There we
Ash,
go.
would you agree with me?
Yeah, she can teach us. We can
Yes.
try. We're not gonna be
Yes.
as good as her, you know, but we can try.
We can try,
Practice makes
absolutely.
perfect.
I agree. Uma, you gonna teach us to dance?
Yes, you got
All
it.
right, good.
We have a meeting coming up soon, so definitely.
Oh, we're gonna see some dancing. That okay? All right. uh, tell me about your choice of music, because we just saw some amazing older songs. What do you look for when you're choosing songs to dance to?
So that is the most hardest part, I think, as a dancer, is to choose their songs, because not only should it speak to you, but it should be appropriate for your event.
Exactly. That's
has
what
to be
I'm thinking too.
Yeah. So
So
when
I
I
mean,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
so if you have like a sweet 16, the vibes will be a little bit more, upbeat, more, newer Bollywood. If you have like a 50 or a 60-year-old, you probably do, something more of that genre, like back then, right?
Correct. Yeah. So actually, for that one event that we just looked at, it was for Sangeet night, and I love when my clients and my supporters give me songs as suggestions. That's my favorite thing to do, because I know for sure they'll be enjoying it. So they actually picked a lot of the oldies. There were a young couple, picked lots of oldies, and those are honestly my favorite, because I feel, and considering it's Indian Arrival Day, it does bring me a lot closer to my parents and my grandparents and just their time era, which I think are the best.
That's what I like to hear, right, Ash? That's what we like to hear.
Yes, yes. And she is keeping the culture alive.
She is keeping the culture alive. Let's speak about your outfits. Your outfits are always so pretty. Do you pick it out yourself, or do you have someone who helps you with that?
So my mom is pretty much my backbone also when it comes to dance. It's very rare that she's not with me, and if she's not, I'm texting her the whole time, you should be here. Where are you?
I don't think I've seen you at an event without your mom.
Yes. She is my bodyguard, my show. Well, she doesn't drive, but she's my passenger princess.
Right. Now, I know you're in college and you're working very hard. If it ever came to a point where you have to choose dancing as your main thing for life, only dancing, it paid well and everything, you didn't have to think, would you consider dancing as a career?
I would. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good to know.
School's hard. No,
now
I'm kidding.
we'll move on to, if you have to choose, and I've seen you out on vacation, you take weekends and stuff. If you have to describe the most perfect vacation for you, what would it look like? Take us there. Where would it be? What would it look like?
Definitely with my puppy, my parents, my brother, maybe a family trip somewhere nice that we don't have to do anything and it's kind of all inclusive.
Oh, I sounds like the perfect vacation for me too. Ladies, Ash, do you have any questions for Oma?
What made you start dancing?
Good question. So, when I was 8 years old, we actually, well, currently we do live next to a pundit and his wife, and she actually brought me along to United Community Mandir when I was 8. So that was about 16 years, more than 16 years ago. And well, her granddaughter was going there at the time. It was being led by Nashma Sabrati, and that's where I started. And it's been there, and it's been going since. I haven't stopped. I've had the absolute support and encouragement from both of my parents and family, the community, to keep going. So that's what we're going off of.
Wow. And for all of our viewers tonight, you can see Uma Devi in the upcoming film, which I'm so excited about. Dream Chaser, the film, Uma will be part. She's part of that project as well, and you will see her. I'm sure there's going to be some dancing, but guys, we are in pre-production. We're excited. There is so much that's happening, and we want to bring it to you, but some things we just can't. So for right now, to all my dream chasers out there, we love you, we see you, we hear you, and we're all here, right? Every day we get up and we chase dreams. So all my love to all of you. With that said, ladies, it was truly, truly a pleasure having each and every one of you here tonight. Thanks to our guest, Terry Gajraj. Thanks to all of you viewers. On closing tonight, the great Nelson Mandela said, "Do not judge me by my success. Judge me by the many times I fell down and got back up again." Get Real with Shameeza started 2 years ago, and many wished me well, but a few hoped that it will fail. I believed in me, and my persistence led to today. 6 seasons of empowerment, inspiration, and discussions that should have been happening years ago. The best part is, I'm just getting started. Next week, look out for Adrian Dutchin, Guyana's Soca King. He will be here along with Anthony Prasad. You guys look out for that flyer. Also, look out for my announcement on Mother's Day. Get Real with Shameeza presents Mother Day baskets. It's baskets full of joy and happiness. One of the things that I have that a lot of people love about me is my giving ability. So I've decided to, share that with you guys. And so I've created baskets of joy for moms. So you will see my baskets very soon on social media and let us know what you're interested. It's customizable. We can make t-shirts, we can choose different things for the basket, which I have all of them, and you just decide what you want for mom. All right? Until next time, be courageous, be strong, and always be real. Good night, everyone.